Hello my friends, and welcome to my channel. I am Jezebel, and today we're going to be talking about shadow work and dark goddess archetypes. Obviously, we'll be talking about my favorite, Jezebel, Lilith, and Persephone, amongst some others. We'll also be explaining what shadow work is and how you can access that, and personally how it's influenced me in my own journey. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, stick around. So, what are the dark goddess archetypes? By definition, dark goddesses represent themes of transformation, shadow work, rebellion, and self-liberation. So these dark goddesses can inspire us because they personify the shadow. Lilith teaches us to reclaim our independence, even if it means we will be demonized in the process. Persephone teaches us to navigate the darkness and emerge wiser. I could go on and on. There are so many dark goddess archetypes, or just women who embody power and the shadow. I highly recommend you look them up, like the Morrigan, Kali, or Hekate. These are all goddesses who represent the integration of the shadow work into your life and will be there for you to draw inspiration when it gets really tough and dark and confusing. These archetypes made it normal and valid to be sad and tired and resting through this process of healing. They reminded me that the only way out is through. So I surrendered, because anytime I was going through something hard in the past, I never allowed myself to actually feel it. Feeling sad, resting more, slowing down my life. No, I never did. To me, sadness, depression, anxiety was something to fix. In other words, something to avoid or get rid of. What I've come to understand now is that these are just warning signs. This is just how the body is telling you that you are avoiding feeling your feelings. This is just your body going through a natural response to a horrible thing that has happened to you. But if we're constantly running from any negative feeling, or only letting ourselves feel it for a day, and then judging ourselves when we can't heal fast enough, we are telling our bodies that it is not safe to just exist in whatever state that they want to exist in, which inevitably causes more anxiety, more depression, and prolongs the entire process. If we would just allow ourselves to grieve when we need to grieve, so many of our problems would go away. Obviously, there is so much nuance to this topic. And for the sake of this video, I'm very much oversimplifying the process of shadow work and healing. But I think I just want to emphasize that there's nothing to be afraid of when facing your shadow. It can feel scary at first, but once you get into it, you will probably realize how natural it all feels, how it just unfolds and flows where it needs to go, which one might say is surrender. You know, Persephone was taken advantage of. She was tricked. She was let down by people she trusted and her support system. But she made the best of her situation. And now we have the beautiful metaphor of fall and spring, and how you can be both the goddess of the underworld and the goddess of spring. When you lean into your shadow work, and when you really start to understand your insecurities, your traumas, the things that hold you personally back, you start to realize that you can integrate them into who you are. And in the process, you realize that integration makes you more resilient in the future when the wheel of fortune inevitably flips back down. Pick just one of your shadows that you are easily aware of, something small. Or if you're not really sure, then pick one goddess archetype to learn more about. Hopefully it will inspire you to reflect or turn more inward, and then you'll be a little more aware of what some of your shadow might be. I'm not going to lie to you. The process can get messy, especially because oftentimes the things that are hiding in our shadows are deep, painful wounds that started long before we were conscious. Be patient with yourself. Understand that these are things that were done to you. They are not your fault, but they are your responsibility. If you want some suggestions of books or videos or podcasts that you can listen to help you better understand trauma and shadow work, check out the description box. I've linked a ton of resources for you. And more than anything, I want you to know that by doing this, you are finally choosing to love yourself. And at the end of the day, that is what matters more than anything in this life. Because how could you possibly love anybody else if you don't even know how to love yourself? I know this was a little bit heavier than you expected, but I hope that it was inspiring, and I hope that it helps you understand that darkness is not something to be afraid of. It's not something to avoid or hide from. It is protection. It is a safe space to rest and heal. Try to learn to enjoy it, as painful and scary as it can be. If you just surrender, you'll be surprised at how wonderful it all ends up feeling.